Hi, and welcome to the Trade Ideas Live Trading Room recap for Tuesday, August the 8th. My name is Barry Anderson. I'm the moderator of our room. This is the address to get into the room, and you can log in with your Facebook or your Twitter account. All right, I will show you a couple of the trades, maybe three or four of the trades that I posted in the room today. All was an interesting one because this is one in which I actually, and I think now I know, yeah, okay. Um, Actually took a short on this and I went long on it. One of those rare breeds where you can actually, well, I shouldn't say that because a lot of times you're going to see stocks that do exactly that. But unfortunately, a lot of times I tend to forget about them. You know, once I'm out of the short, or if I went long, I usually kind of forget about them because there's other things perhaps more interesting. But this one certainly worked out very well. All was one of those ones in which it was kind of down in the pre-market. Let me just see. Let me just bring up a daily chart first. And just one second here. All right, sorry about that. So here, you can see that here is where it closed yesterday, and here's where it opened down here. This is the daily candle for it, and it has come back. I mean, you know, it got all the way down to $60, and it has come back. But so this was one of those ones which I love to watch. And you know, in the pre-market, I'm always looking for stocks that have the potential to have a big reversal, and so this was definitely one of them that I wanted to watch. So. But first, I actually took the short of it, and let me just see if I can move it back just a little bit more. Okay, so this is where I actually took the short, and it would have been right at $62.33. A little bit of a pull up, started to fall again, sort of a narrow candle, and I took the short right here at 62.33. This candle is 5 minutes, and look what happened. It just went all the way down here to 61.54. I actually covered as it came back up to 61.87. I withstood this. You know, I think if it had closed above my where I shorted, I would have got out of it, but you notice here that there was no close above the 62.33, so I did hold on and definitely got rewarded because I ended up covering my short right here at 61.17. So from 62.33 to 61.17, over a dollar. So, but then we flipped the script, and a lot of us were watching in the room. I know Real was watching this one in the room. I think he was in around this level probably, or maybe just when it broke over here. Here, I mean, that would make sense. I don't know exactly when he got involved. That would make sense though, because these two topping tails, the one there and the one there, I think they're right around 61.50. So over 61.50, but I was definitely later, but it just looked like it had that oomph to it. So I got out, or sorry, got out. I took the trade at 61.72. I sold some at 61.95. And I am still in the trade. I still have some left. I'm you know, optimistic that the 62 level will hold. If it goes down below 62, then I'm definitely going to be out of the trade. Now, here's one that is working out very nicely. I got to show you this one. AIG, the same sort of thing. I think let's see if I can bring up, here's the AIG daily chart. Again, it was one of those ones that had dropped. And now it wasn't as dramatic as some of the other ones, but it had dropped. But this is what we were looking at. We were looking at this little, well, first of all, I missed all this. I mean, I have to admit, probably was an argument to be made. 60.89 could have got in at this level even if you'd waited for the whole number break. But I missed all this. Look at this beautiful climb. I know that other people took it. Then started watching it again when it was pulling back. And so took the trade. You know, we were talking about when would we take this trade. And, you know, it was going up as the SPY was coming down. So it was definitely looked like a good counter trend trade. So I ended up taking the trade right at 62, right in this level. I don't have it marked, but it was right in this here. And so now we're at 62.26. I will definitely, in fact, I'm going to change this chart to a 5-minute chart. When I say this chart, this one over here. And so I'm just going to keep an eye on it on my other monitor. And I'll get rid of the symbol linking in case you don't know what I've done. You know, if I want to keep this chart and I don't want it to change, so what I do is I unlink it. Here's the symbol linking here. So I unlink it. So now if I bring this in right here and click on MGM, This is my e-signal chart. Notice how this had not changed. If the symbol linking was still checked, this would have changed to MGM. So that's a way in which I can keep an eye on a chart that I don't want to change, and that's what I'm going to do on another monitor. So that was all. So that turned out to be a pretty nice trade. BXLT, and I don't know, I can't remember if I marked this one up. I bet you I did not. Oh, I did. I just didn't. Okay. BXLT, now this was up for the day. Now let me bring in another chart. I'm loving our charts, by the way, and I noticed that there's a new build that you notice when I click here, here's some of the options we have. I notice that there's another option now we'll be able to put trend lines in. So the charts are really, I think, very attractive and definitely starting to spruce up. So if we look at BXLT, this was up, and I don't know what the news was. It might have been some kind of, you know what, I don't even remember what the news was. It doesn't really matter, but you see how it got sold off. I mean, it was up here, and it really got sold off, and it got sold down, and now it's sort of almost like a mini doji right here. But what we were looking at was this level right here, and I got in this one late. I mean, there's no question that right here would have been a much better entry, but I did end up taking the trade right here. I think the spread was pretty tough. I closed my eyes, took the trade. I believe that is 38.43. I think it's 38.43, and I exited right here at 38.94. Was worried that it wasn't going to be able to. Actually, I exited right here. Was worried it wasn't going to be able to get through 39. It did briefly, but then it just fell down again, and now look where it is. It's all the way back down. So definitely not a great. I mean, it was a great quick trade. No question about it. A great quick trade, but it was a little bit scary. There's no, I mean, again, when you have a stock that is spready, you have to take fewer shares. Somebody actually said to me in the room, how did you where'd you put your stop? And this was probably my stop was going to be right here, 38.21. I mean, not probably, if it definitely had gone back down through here, but that could have happened in a so quickly because again the spread was so bad, but it just had that look to it that there was a stock that was up and it looked like it was going to regain some of what it had lost, and so I ended up taking the trade. And Sabre. Now Sabre, I'm only showing you Sabre because, and I want to show you Sabre on the 15-minute chart because it didn't, oops, just got to do this. So there's Sabre again. So on the 15-minute chart, okay. So Sabre did not work. I mean, I traded it twice. I was flat the first time and it was made pennies on the second time. But what I'm trying to show you is, again, if you're in the room or if you're not in the room, but you've been hearing us talk about these red and green bar ignores, this is a pretty good idea of what it looks like. And it just didn't work, but I mean, this is an idea of what it should look like. So here we go. Here is a nice little trend down. This is on the 15-minute chart. Nice trend down. Here is a green bar, green candle, and then a red candle. So the theory would be that you sort of ignore this one. You say, you know what, this is just a momentary blip. It is still going to continue down. And the other reason I like this is I looked at this void down here. I mean, this is 27.50, and this is all, there's $1 and even more up in this area. So that's why I really like this too. But anyway, so the theory would be is that you would take the trade right below the low of the green candle, which would be 27.60. So on this red bar, you would just take the trade here, and you would either put a stop here, 27.73. I'm tending to take a look at the body more than, I mean, this topping tail isn't so bad, but if the topping tail had been way up here, there's no way I would have, allowed it to run all the way to the top. But that's the theory. So you take the trade here, and in fact, it did work just briefly. All right. I mean, I could have scalped it for a few pennies, but had this just continued down and down all the way here, you would have seen the classic green bar ignored setup. So again, we are reiterating this one because again, I have access to the program in its alpha stage, the program that's going to allow us to refer to previous candles, and so we can completely define this pattern. We can say, you know what, I want to see three, I want to see four, I want to see three red candles down before this pattern starts. Or I could say, you know, it doesn't have to be three, but I want it to have dropped a certain amount. In other words, I want the trend to be down still. Now, the interesting thing is that this is up for the day, and you know, I don't know yet. When we get this program ready, and then we can actually back test these alerts with the odds maker. Because my feeling, quite frankly, is that this is the nice pattern, but would it work a lot better for a stock that is already down for the day? You know, so so take a stock that is already down for the day. It's already weak. It's weakening, a little brief pause, and then it continues to fall. You know, and that's the sort of thing that I want to be able to test with the odds maker. Is it better to look for a pattern like this when a stock is down for the day, or does it matter? You know, it doesn't matter. Or, you know, we can also probably, I'm sure, with this, the way this is going to work with this program, you could probably say, I want to know what the gap is. Where's the next bit of resistance on the chart? If you look at if you thought this was resistance, so where is that? So you could, you know, you could literally refer right back to this candle if you wanted to, and say, okay, yeah, I don't mind this pattern, but now I want to see it. I want to see a dollar between this, between here and here. I mean, these are the sort of things that I believe we're going to be able to do. And, you know, I mean, it's not going to be tomorrow, but hopefully by the end of the year, which, excuse me, by the end of the year, we should be able to do a lot more with the candles within Trade Ideas and really start to generate some really interesting looking strategies and alerts from them. Okay, so that is it, and I'm just going to bring back, well, I guess I can do it here. This is not linked, so there's my AIG. AIG is working really, really nicely. So this is another one, could have been like an all trade, the ALL trade. Short it all the way down here, wait for this, and then just start to buy it. And now this is a little bit like a red bar ignored. The only problem with it, and actually, you know what? I think I even said in the room, this is like a sort of, sort of. Typically what we want to see is we want to see this red bar engulfed by the previous green bar. So in other words, you see it went down too low. Had it only gone, say, down to there, so it's still within, the top is within the high of this candle, but the low is below the low. So technically it wasn't, but I just thought the pattern looked pretty good anyway. Here's the nice trend. So, you know, we could even say something like, okay, maybe it doesn't have to be exactly, maybe this bar doesn't have to be completely within, especially if you've got, you know, 5 candles in a row going up. You know, maybe we can kind of discount that. But again, I'm running ahead of myself. These are all sorts of things that we can look at down the road, and really excited to see how this program comes out. But anyway, bottom line is this is turning into be a great trade. There's an hour and 10 minutes left in the market. Obviously, this is the gap that could be filled, and you know, we'll have to see what happens. Okay, that is it for today. Thank you very much for listening. This is, oh, I keep forgetting that I've got. And I just kind of blew that. Oh, there we go. Okay, so again, here's how to get into the room. Here's the address for if you want to email me for some strategies that you may have seen. I'm happy to share them. Again, here's how to get into the room, and you can log in with your Facebook or your Twitter account. And I hope to see you in the trading room tomorrow.